Hello everybody and welcome back to Nordic Hobby Visions. As promised, we got the ZD Racing Raptors MT-16 on the table today. This video is just made to summarize and wrap up some conclusions that I had during my first test run, GPS test run and a breakdown in the end of this ZD Racing MT-16. So there are actually two things that make this one of the worst trucks that you can possibly buy, and I will show you right after we go through some of the things that really made me hope that this was, well, the kind of perfect answer and alternative to the WLToys A979 truck. To mention some of the good things, first we just need to look at it. It's a classic styled, let's say classic modern style pickup monster truck, which I definitely like. There's not much I do not like about this when just viewing it from the outside here. The tires feel very soft and grippy and very monster truckish and the wheels are beautiful, I think. The body is very well made. I like the color scheme and everything, and overall it just looks like a very sturdy and well made little truck. Now that doesn't stop here, because when we open it up there's definitely a lot of other cool features that can get your hopes up that this is just the perfect alternative to the WLToys A979. I'll go through them quickly and then we'll take a look at the two problems, and just to not waste anybody's time, the conclusion is definitely that I prefer the WLToys A979 over this. But let's just take a look at some of the features. First things first, if we take a look at the box itself, we can see that this platform actually comes in 4 different versions. We got the MT, the monster truck, the touring car, the buggy and the trucky. On top of that we can choose between a brushed and a brushless version of each of these options. This of course leads me to think that this whole platform and line was originally intended to compete with the A979, A959, A949 and A969. So same system, 4 different models on the same platform. But on top of that they kind of beefed up the whole idea, making this a much larger platform, where the A979 is a 1/18 scale, this is a 1/16 scale. On top of that, I'll go through them when we come to the truck itself, but we got a lot of options here that just makes it look like a much nicer line, a much nicer platform than the A979 and its comrades. Even the transmitter pictured here has a lot of other options and looks much nicer. On top of that, it gets even better when we open the box itself, because this is actually the old version pictured here. Again, while looking at the instruction, the manuals, this is a brushless edition here. It just keeps getting better and better. So we got the 40 plus kilometers an hour for the brushed and the 55 kilometers an hour for the brushless. Now, of I think 4 or 5 different speed runs, including my own, I have not seen anyone reach 55 kilometers per hour with the brushless. It's more like 40 to 44. I have seen my own read 44 kilometers an hour. And well, that's how it is with these kind of generic trucks from China. They are always maybe 10 or 15 kilometers an hour above this, but for the brushless version 40 to 44 kilometers an hour, which is about the 27 miles per hour you will get. Now if we take a look at this just blew my mind, because we got all the information we will ever need. On top of that, we got a complete assembly instructions, so you can actually disassemble the whole truck and start with step 1 and go through it like a kit, which is pretty amazing, I think. On top of that, you got all the exploded views and all the general replacement parts. That means spare parts, numbers, article numbers here. Now that's another thing I want to talk about at the end when we get through this. But looking at this, it looks very nice and looks like a complete spare part option list is ready and available. And slowly we are getting to the interesting parts, and it gets even better when looking at the accessories. Now this is a very nice, I think it's a rebranded ZD Racing 1500 milliamps per hour 15C rating, discharge rating 7.4 volt 2S LiPo battery. Decent size and everything, and it even comes with the Dean's Ultra T plug here instead of the JST plugs. So perfect for this truck. 15C is more than enough, and 1500 milliamps per hour provides a very decent runtime, especially on a brushless model. On top of that, it's actually, as I showed in the original video, it's the same size as the Traxxas 1/16 scale batteries. So you can get a lot of these in the same size aftermarket batteries around here. So again, a perfect decent sized battery. On top of that, it actually comes with a charger that includes a box itself. That's kind of a luxury thing in this kind of price line. On top of that, again, you got a charger here, and we even got charging plugs for the 2S and the 3S, so it can actually charge up to 3 cells. Now it's still a kind of typical wall charger where you got the 800 milliamps per hour, so 2 or 3 hours to balance charge a thing like this. So still a much nicer charger than usual in this price line, but still, well, you could go for a hobby grade charger to replace this. Now for the interesting part, this didn't come with the radio that were pictured in the instructions and box, but it actually comes with this rebranded ZD Racing transmitter and the receiver in the car. This is actually a 4-channel receiver, and I had absolutely no trouble with this. So it got all the reverse options and the trim options, and then you got the dual rate for both steering and throttle. Again, this makes it all worth in my point, because getting both dual rate for steering and throttle is just a luxury in this price department. It's a very nice radio, I think, and I had absolutely no trouble with it. It responds very quickly and it feels very decent when using it. It doesn't have foam wheels or anything, but still a decent RTR radio, but of course nothing like the more expensive models. What I looked at it, it actually resembles the DumboRC transmitter that is currently receiving a lot of great reviews. This is a 6-channel version, where this is the 4-channel version. So again, a very nice radio that feels good. For the first run, I've only tried this out once, but everything just felt good and responded good, and I've seen a lot of good reviews on the DumboRC products. And finally, we are getting to the car or truck itself. I have removed the body pins so we can have a closer look at the specifications. The first thing I noticed was this. It's pretty much rock solid with a exceptionally well-made damping system with these oil film shocks. The best I have tried in the under $100 department. So compared to an A979, this again just makes it all worth it. They feel simply amazing. Now combined with these tires, these are soft tires, I think they have foam in them with high grip, and on top of that you got the standard hex or wheel nut here. But it feels good on the road and it got a lot of grip and just feels great. On top of that you got all the upgrades here. You got aluminum alloy shock towers, you got the alloy caps for the oil shocks, you got some suspension mounts of alloy here, and it just feels a very sturdy, very well-made truck indeed. If we get to other features of this, you can see the adjustable metal motor mount. Again, this was a problem with the A979 because it had the 380 motor mount and the 540 motor mount, and that was about it if you didn't want to start modding it on your own. But you can actually, and I'll get to that, get other pinions for this 13 tooth, 16 tooth, 17 tooth, so you can gear it as you want to with this adjustable motor mount. Again, on top of that you got the adjustable turnbuckles here. Granted, this will probably make it a little less durable, but it will definitely solve a lot of the problems with the toe in and camber and all the adjustments that you might want to make. So you can adjust the upper arms and you can adjust all the steering links here. Again, on top of that you got these universal axles. I'm trying if you can see it here. Metal universal axles which should provide direct power to the wheels and reduce any slop. So it might look like it has a lot of slop. That's pretty normal with these definitely under $100 car, and the A979, trust me, is far worse. Got some very beefy bumpers here, and the chassis itself looks very sturdy. So again, all in all, just a perfect setup. If we take a look at the, well, we have talked about the battery compartment. You got a very nice little clip for your wires, and then you got plenty of room for some other options of batteries here, which again is a problem on the A979 with perhaps about this sized battery compartment. But with this you can fit almost any of the 1/16 scale batteries you can find on the internet. Again, looking at the electronics, it just blew my mind. Also when trying the servo out, this is a 2.2 kilogram servo, and it has plenty of speed. So, and it's actually a 3-wire servo, so you can go and replace everything you need in the motor, the ESC and everything, and you can still use the same radio and servo here. So again, this is a 4-channel servo, and it's neatly hidden inside this little nice dust cover. So the whole truck should be splash proof. I'll just figure out this later, perhaps. Yeah, the whole truck should be splash proof, but not waterproof. But you can go through the usual small puddles and such. Getting to the most interesting part for me, this is a ZD Racing Brushless little motor, and it ran just perfect. I think it's a 24 something sized motor, and then a 3300 kV brushless setup with the 35A ESC. And it worked perfectly, and it's, well, not the fastest 3300 kV, but it's definitely very, very well suitable and strong for this little truck. So for me that was perfect, because it also provides the speed of like 40 or 44, like 27 miles per hour, which I think is a decent speed with these tiny little trucks. I did have an A979B version at one point, and it was just uncontrollable with the high ground clearance of these monster truck tires and the light weighted chassis. So 44 kilometers an hour, 27 miles per hour is definitely perfect. But the most important with the brushless motors is that they are maintenance free, and they do accelerate. It just feels a bit more punchy when driving these in opposed to the brushed versions. The ones who have tried the standard A979 know that it's approximately the same speed, maybe a bit less. I have measured it to 39-40 kilometers an hour, where this will perhaps go a few kilometers an hour above that, but approximately the same speed. I have tested the pinion, and it kind of is magnetic, so you got a hardened metal, some sort, maybe steel pinion here, opposed to an alloy aluminum pinion. I think the spur gear, which you can see here, is of plastic, but that's generally no problem, because if you want to break something, you want to break a plastic spur gear and not your motor or anything else. So again, this just led me to believe that we finally had a real competitor to the A979 and all the others. That kind of wrapped up the good things about the ZD Racing Raptors MT-16, and we are getting to the ugly things. As some of you may not know, this truck has actually been around for a couple of years now, I think. Although a lot of reviews has just hit YouTube recently, maybe because the price dropped below $100, and that's maybe perhaps why all the companies are sending out these trucks for reviews. And maybe that's the reason why the price dropped. But at this time, when searching for spare parts, I do not find a lot of them. You can see the red version with the other tires and wheels here, and you can see the yellow version here, which also has a green counterpart with the same come on, that's here, the same tires and wheels as this one. But looking at and searching for different names, and even searching for different names of the other types of the same platform, this is pretty much all you get now. I'm probably thinking you can get more on eBay. You can try searching there for yourself with different search words, but you can definitely get the pinion, the differential, and some upper arms, some shocks, a diff house here, the servo, I think, and it looks actually like a metal servo, some wheels for the body version, some differential gear sets, so there's actually a diff house and the diff cups, the outdrives, and the diff itself included here. All is under $10. The differential itself, which we will get through to in a minute, is near $5, so pretty good prices on these. But the problem is, of course, if you can't get all the spare parts. I think with these rigid upper arms you will break something, maybe a suspension mount or a diff house, or maybe even the chassis itself. So that's the bad thing about this. It seems like it's a model that's been kind of let go right now, with the price drop below $100, and all the spare parts are definitely not easily available. Maybe you can try searching for them better than I can, but I couldn't find much. But again, one of the good things is that you can get this whole line of pinion gears, and everything is so far looking good. But if there were more spare parts available, it would definitely be better. So spare parts, perhaps in 2 years from the release of this car, is getting a bad thing. Now for the main attraction of this day, we got the differential itself here. My suspicion is that on the first run in the main video on my main RC channel, this was what actually caused problems. One thing I didn't mention in the good things is that it actually comes fully ball raised, both in the wheel hubs and internally here. So it definitely got a metal pinion gear, and it got a metal drive shaft. I didn't mention that, but it has a metal drive shaft and the ball bearings, and as far as I can see, the ring gear of the differential is of metal. Again, so far so good, but as you can see, this is kind of the the option where the whole diff house, which is part of the suspension of an RC car, this diff house here actually provides the casing for the whole diff. Normally these bevel gears, these tiny bevel gears, also called spider gears, and the main bevel gears here would be enclosed in a little casing which compresses it and makes sure it doesn't move around. And again, normally in a brushless model I think we should get some metal outdrives here, so if they start bending, perhaps the whole thing starts to bend internally. So again, you can see the plastic bevel gear and on either side here, and the plastic tiny bevel gears here, the spider gears, also made of plastic, which for me is just a very weird option for a otherwise perfect truck. So we got all the great features like motor mounts, ball bearings, adjustable turnbuckles, and so on and so on. And then we got this, maybe they actually launched the brushed version at first, which perhaps can hold up, where these plastic gears can hold up to a lot more, and then just placed a brushless motor in it without testing it. But so far, in I think a couple of weeks now, I have seen 4 reviews where the diff actually breaks in the first run, or one of the first runs. I think the bearded RC was some of the first bearded RC, and we got the Tom Lee RC garage where the diff also broke. We even got the Kevin Talbot where the front differential also seemed to got loose and caused some trouble. And then we got mine where it also broke after maybe 10 minutes of runtime. So this is the ugly part of it all. If they had just made this, or even made a upgrade option available, because that's one of the nice things about the WLToys A979 and so on. You can get a lot of upgrades. All spare parts are available, and you can pretty much customize the whole truck with metal or carbon fiber or whatever you choose. But here in this, we seem to be stuck with this odd looking plastic bevel gears, plastic diff cup, and an open differential without a casing. That wraps up my thoughts about the ZD Racing Raptors MT-16. To be honest, even though I have seen bad reviews where all the diffs are gone wrong, the bearded RC, Tom Lee RC garage, Kevin Talbot, and my own, I have also been informed that there are some other good reviews of this where people may have been more lucky than the before mentioned. I think Cheyenne mentioned Perth West RC, an Australian YouTube channel with a good review, and actually the first place I saw this was on RC Sailors, where they had it for a good long run off-road, and it didn't seem to have any problems at all, and it was the exact same model as this one. That was actually the video that got me excited about this one. So when I got a chance and an offer to review one, I was of course pretty excited, until after 10 minutes of runtime. Again, check out all the other videos about the Raptors MT-16 ZD Racing before deciding on your own. I will tear this down eventually and open up the diffs and have a look at what actually went wrong, what parts of the diff or what parts of the gears went wrong. But I think I will wait till I have a spare part I can install at the same time and maybe have one more try with this, but because in my mind this is just too nice to just throw in the bin can. If that doesn't turn out good, I will definitely tear it down completely and use the fine electronics for something else. But the conclusion again so far is to get a A979. I actually got 2 of them recently, so they are coming up on my main RC channel, Nordic RC Visions. Still, it's a much smaller truck with a lot lesser features and a brushed and all that. But so far in terms of spare parts, upgrade parts, and indeed in terms of the internal diffs. Now these aren't bulletproof either. I've heard about trouble with these too. I got a complete WLToys upgrade series on the A979 where I actually replace all the gears on the standard version. You can check that out on my main channel also. But I have had an A979B and I have had actually no trouble at all with the gears myself, although others have experienced that. So, too bad ZD Racing. I hope you will release a metal diff, especially maybe a metal diff with an enclosed casing. That would be definitely a nice option for all the ones who have already bought or have these ZD Racing Raptors MT-16 or some of the other lines. So this video has gone on for far too long, and I will definitely, as you probably saw, leave a timestamp in the beginning of the video so you can skip directly to the good or the bad or the ugly, whatever you decide. More on this coming up when I have a differential, a spare differential available. Then I will definitely tune it up and maybe have another go before discarding it completely. Let me know in the comments also if you want a comparison of the WLToys and the MT-16 side by side, sidewise and futures and all that. And let me have any suggestions at all. What do you want to see done with this truck? Because I'm kinda at a loss. We can replace the diff and it will probably break in 10 minutes of runtime again. Maybe go off-roading where the grip isn't that good. That will probably be better for the diff too. Okay, that's it. Sorry for the long video, but this is the channel where I am allowed to go waffling on forever if I choose to. So I will see you in another video. Happy holidays, keep them running and take care.